Welcome to Level Yourself Up, where it's not about perfection but progress. I'm your host, John Budd, and this week I'm going to be talking to you about just that. It's not about perfection but progress. I'm going to share a little with you about why I formed this show, some of the things I'm wanting to do in the show, and some of the things I learned in the last couple days. So, really, this show is just going to be a mini show because I want to stay consistent in giving you videos and good content. Now, what I had planned today wasn't going to work out because I'm working in the bathroom. I got a lot of spinning plates, so to speak. But what I want to talk to you about today is how it's not about perfection, but progress. I have been holding myself to a real high standard of being a professional tile layer, and I am not. I'm really just one of those home DIYers. I like trying to do things myself. One that saves me money. I feel like I'm pretty good at it. And it's just a way that I can use my gifts and talents to help save money. So this week I've been tiling in the bathroom and it's been really difficult for me. I think for many different reasons, it's affecting that conscious level of feeling inadequate, and I'm just being vulnerable here. And then I got frustrated because I didn't have the technique down right. We can watch these YouTube videos and watch these professionals. Man, they just make it look so easy. Whether it's car mechanics, making YouTube thumbnails. I don't care what it is. We can watch other people, and it just seems like everything is going great, right? That everything is just butter. It's just slick as can be. It's going good, but we never see how much people struggle, how much the struggle is behind the scenes. And some people show that in their videos, sure. But anyway, I was doing this tile work, mixing my own mortar, getting it up there, and the tile wasn't going on right. And I was getting really, because I was holding myself to such a high standard. Look at that. I still got mortar on my arm. But because I was holding it at such a high standard, I let that stop me from learning. And I started getting internally frustrated and almost angry, if I'm honest. I wanted to throw the broom, and my daughter helped me kind of get some stuff level and kind of get our level line and doing all that. But anyway, so I thought about it a lot. Yesterday, I put a few up. It went a lot better because I got out of the way. Today, I was thinking I'm not going to enter into chaos, that I'm going to walk above it, that I'm going to, to stay present and stay conscious of just being who I am, doing the best I can. And I think because I didn't let that mindset of being somebody I'm not, man, it's actually went up great. I got far more done than I did all week for that matter, last week. And it looks pretty good. The tiles level. I've got my spacers in there. It's drying out. And I'm just at a stopping point for tonight. And I was reflecting like, man, why did I make that so tough on myself? But it was because I was holding myself to this higher standard. And I think we do this in life in general. And so I want to encourage you. What are you judging and being so critical about yourself on? Because whether it is cooking a meal, maybe it's working outside in the yard or doing internal things, maybe it's an even improving in our mindset and becoming a better person. It is so easy to fail. And I think I've said it in past podcasts, but I love the phrase in the Batman with Christian Bale, where he says, Master Bruce, why do we fall down? And it's so we can learn to pick ourselves up. If we did not learn to fall and fail, we would never learn to walk. Think about that. Think about our kids when we're crawling on the floor, learning to walk. They're going to fall, and we have to learn to pick ourselves back up. So that's my big encouragement for this week. Don't be so critical on yourself. I know that I lay out these mindset things, and I decided I was just going to be brutally honest with you guys today and just share not just from my notes of things I think about and how I really do practice. Next week I hope to talk about get back on track about the topics that I have laid out. But this one I wanted to really bring to you because it just happened. I mean, I literally just stopped working in the bathroom tile. I changed my shirt and I rinsed my hands off the best I can. And like I said, I still have mortar on my arm. So this was just me being real. And that's why I started this podcast, because I wanted to encourage people to really learn to be far beyond what they think they can be, because I believe you can do anything you want to do. That in life, if you put your mindset to it, you can learn to do anything you want. And I mean anything. I don't care what kind of person you are, you can learn to do anything. I've seen people with great setbacks in their life struggle. They've changed, become new people. And I believe in the power of giving people the freedom to change and looking for the best. Now I look for that fruit. So there are people that I'm watching, waiting to see how they've really changed. And I think that's okay to do, especially when we get into situations where maybe let's just be honest, if they're violent, if they are doing drugs, and they're maybe not transparent with their money, and you're trying to help them out with their finances, there needs to be some transparency there. But it goes back to letting them fall down. They're not going to be perfect, and help them grow and giving them the benefit of the doubt. I am a big believer in giving the benefit of the doubt because Jesus gives me the benefit of the doubt every day. He saved my soul, and I'm not perfect. I fail every day. But I hear him calling me to be patient with others, kind to others, even when I don't want to be. And I'll be honest, sometimes maybe my face doesn't show that I am trusting that person, but in my heart, I'm looking at that and I'm watching. And I think we need to do that and turn that mirror to ourselves. And how are we being too critical on ourselves and holding some hard thing in the ground, some stake in the ground to refuse to give ourselves permission to make a mistake and realize that through that mistake, um, people can change. And back to the tile work. Today, when I was much freer and gave myself permission to not be perfect, I started seeing ways to make it perfect. And I think that's just how God works. If we get all tightened up and all stressed out, we turn inwardly and we don't really focus on our task at hand, and we focus on ourselves. So and so that's the enemy's mindset, is that we turn inwardly to ourselves and not outwardly. So that's my biggest takeaway. And that's why I started this podcast, was to help people to be encouraged, to be everything you can be, to know it's not about perfection, but progress. That's why I've always stepped with that tagline, and to see people come from the ashes, so to speak. So we can do this small thing, like this tile is nothing, right? This tile is just something personal to me. But in the bigger things in life, dealing with people, dealing with struggles, because we all have struggles in life, and we're not going to handle them perfectly. I'm not going to respond perfectly to my wife. I'm not going to respond perfectly to my daughters, or even, to myself. But we got to forgive ourselves, take responsibility for those actions, and there may be some things we got to do to help prove that we're changing. But I want to encourage you to be the person you want to be. That's my biggest goal with this podcast, is to really share with you some tips and tricks, things that's going on. And, I'm going to share just what's coming from my heart every now and again. I might be sharing some computer stuff I know, but most of it's going to come back around mindset. I'm hoping to do some more interviews here in the near future and get some of those going again. I really hope to maybe bring back a couple older guests that I had and get them on the show again to see what's changed in their life. And so that's it. I want to challenge you this week to write down 3 areas in your life where you're too hard on yourself, and write that out. Then ask yourself, what can you do to forgive yourself? What internally can you do to forgive yourself? And let grace and mercy reign in your body. Live free, because when we live free, then we're not stressed out. So I think I'm just going to end there. I don't have a Bible scripture for you. It's just me kind of impromptu sitting down and off a few notes I wanted to talk to you about. And I hope I covered everything I said I would at the beginning, because I wanted to share with you the purpose of this podcast. So you guys be blessed. May your life be blessed with abundance. God bless you. And remember, it's not about perfection, but progress.